Alright, go ahead.
Hi!
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Oh wait, I already took my turn.
I guess that worked.
I heard an echo.
Should we
Does
go
that
with
work?
It
Wait,
should have.
Josh, real quick question. Did we actually have a name, like a special name for the podcast, or is it just the Peanut Gallery Podcast?
Peanut Gallery Podcast.
I like
Or
the
let's see,
idea of...
Peanut Gallery
what if-
Podcast.
Peapod
PGP.
podcast.
I was thinking, what if we're peanuts in a podcast?
That is actually a great idea.
I've had that
Peanuts
name
in a
for
podcast.
I've always had that name in my mind for forever, and I never was confident about it. But you know what?
Peanuts in a podcast.
Yeah, we're the peanuts in a podcast.
That sounds pretty good. I like that.
I actually
I approve.
Okay.
nice of you.
When someone uses your idea a little better than you. Sadness.
I wish I didn't have a cough. I wish I didn't have a cough at all. All right, who wants to go first with the topic? I could go first.
Well, don't
I don't
want
have
an
a topic.
introduction and say, well,
Oh, yeah. That's true. I've sort of just been thinking, yeah, the intro of the podcast is just when we started recording, and all the clap syncs are going to be in there.
Just make a cool little video edit bleep, and then we're gonna start an intro like right now.
but it's a okay,
No, I'm
fine.
not going to be editing that much.
It's not a video edit. It's just
Nobody will
It's-
be
it's
funny.
mainly
Just
audio.
people talking.
How about you should just invest in a soundboard, and then you can do it manually.
I should.
I
can
have
do
a
it live.
soundboard.
No, give
Do
me
you
a
have a-
soundboard.
Do you have a bleep sound thing that Mike
let me
is
double
looking
check.
for?
I haven't used it in a bit. No, I don't.
Oh.
I have.
Okay, cool.
I do have.
Ooh, you suck.
That's going to show up in Audacity, right?
Yes, it will because I'm using my voice.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
I also have.
That was louder than I expected.
It,
How much
It is a little loud.
It actually
Oh
was.
gosh, that's expensive.
Just Googles them.
Oh my gosh, the first one is $2,500.
Wow.
You suck.
Oh, wrong one. Gosh dang it.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was...
Richard
Uh,
failed.
Okay.
You shouldn't have reminded me of this thing now. Now I'm just going to use it for the whole podcast.
We've been recording for 5 minutes now. I've talked about nothing.
We have-
Hey guys, welcome to the Peanuts in a podcast?
We are Peanuts in a podcast, and today we're going to be shelling out some topics. I don't know.
Okay.
that
that
was
works.
That was weak sauce.
That
my
was
dude.
very forced.
Come on, I'm on the spot here.
Boo! Yo, stank! I'll make my own soundboard.
Noah, you really need to try butter. The only connection is peanut butter.
I know.
That was really bad.
You
So-
can't see it, but I'm shaking my head.
I was thinking of a topic today, and by the time we release this, it may be dated. I don't know when you're going to release this, Josh, but you know what?
As soon as I can.
Do we want to talk about COPPA? Because lots of us have been looking into COPPA. Well, I don't know about
I have
Stringer.
that
Oh,
written
gosh.
down. I've got that written down
That
as one of
written
mine.
down?
So yeah, we
Okay,
can
well,
talk
that was
about
what
it.
I had.
Let's
written
talk
down
about
as well.
COPPA.
Okay, well, how do you think channels kind of like ours, where we just have like the family-friendly content, how are we gonna like deal with this kind of thing? Really?
Okay.
With strings.
Based on what I've looked at, there are two... it seems like what's happening is they're like, okay, guys, stop freaking out so much. If it's like copyright. If you don't intentionally use it, you're not like you don't like try to upload a movie for
Right.
free and modify
Well,
it. You're not
hold
gonna
on. Do we
have
wanna-
a big issue.
Do we want to explain COPPA first? Because you never know. We could have some viewers that have no idea what COPPA is right now.
Give a brief summary.
Okay, well,
Very
COPPA
brief.
is basically, it was originally a rule made back in somewhere in the 1990s, I think.
I think 97.
97? Okay.
I think it was 97.
I feel like it's 1987.
No, the internet didn't really come to
1907.
fruition.
No,
Google.
it was- definitely wasn't 1982, because that's when Columbus sailed the ocean blue. Did I get it right?
Ay,
What?
ay, ay.
did Christopher Columbus sail the ocean blue in
Okay, it is 1998.
1998. I was a year
Oh,
off.
98. Okay. Well, basically, it's a rule that keeps advertisers from targeting their ads towards children, taking their data and using it to basically, like, I know children like this, so let's give them ads of that type, you know.
Like
'Cause
13
children are
years or
weaklings.
younger, I think.
Another part of that, I think, was mostly just, like, false advertising, like having toys talk, toys themselves talking in a commercial and fooling kids into thinking, my toys will talk when I get them.
And that's stupid.
Yeah.
Even for kids, because even as a kid, I was like, that toy's talking. Mine don't.
That's the whole premise of Toy Story.
I think
Toy
this
Story
is a lie.
Toy Story is basically, it broke the law.
Toy Story, basically how the world works is that on commercials, the toys are tortured to the point where they will talk. But when you buy them, it's a completely different toy, and they don't talk unless you're not around, like in Toy Story. But on commercials, they do know, obviously, Toy Story is real. That's not animated, it's actually
definitely.
real.
Oh, yeah, true.
And
It's a documentary.
people have discovered that toys are actually living things, even though that we created them from plastic.
But
And
we
so
don't
they
wanna
can
tell
torture
kids
them, for example, Toy Story to act in Toy Story, or for commercials to sell more of their own kind.
But we don't want to tell kids about that. So if you're a kid watching this, Josh, make sure before we get into this topic, you go into a disclaimer that if you're below the age of 13, not to watch this.
I'm not editing. No, I'm not doing that.
Well, then put a voice disclaimer. Put this disclaimer I'm about to say here at the beginning of the video. Hey, if you're under the
How
age
about we
of 13...
put the voice disclaimer here and not edit?
Okay, sure. If you're
I'm not editing.
below the age of 13, don't watch because we're about to reveal secrets of the universe to you. So
The thing
anyway,
is,
now birds
I
and the
think-
bees. No.
Hold on. No.
Secrets of the
Okay.
universe. That's what I always thought that as back as a kid.
Ha, that
Okay.
almost made me laugh.
That just made me sigh.
I think I heard about COPPA before all this stuff started, and I think it was like, for example, like kids shows, like they would kind of like advertise within the show, maybe, and they didn't, that they said that
Right.
wasn't allowed, or maybe it's something to do with like you can't have commercials for like a toy for a show in between the show playing or on the same channel as the show playing or something, so that they don't watch the show and then see a commercial immediately after saying, hey, you can buy something like it for this much, and then they'll go bug their parents. That's what I think I heard. I
Right.
don't remember ever watching. I don't know where I heard that.
Well,
I'm
this
assuming I
version
watched
of-
the video somewhere.
COPPA
Yeah,
was
that's
just
what I was...
all
go
about
ahead.
parents that are tired of buying stuff for their kids that they see on the internet, and they're just like, we're gonna make a company that'll prevent this.
The
It's not a company,
cheapskates.
but yeah.
But well,
Honestly,
COPPA,
I feel
we're
like
talking about a
they
different form of
should-
COPPA though. Right now, we're talking about the one where you can't be advertising to children, like target advertising to children that are below the age of 13. That's what we're talking about right now.
Did
There's
you know
different
that
segments.
in 10 years they're going to change COPPA to bronze?
Oh dang it! I was gonna make a joke like that.
Ay, ay, ay.
That actually worked pretty well. Okay, I think we've summarized it. So you were asking our opinions on it, and I was going to say my opinion.
Okay, well, we can return to that.
I feel like how it is right now is it seems like YouTube's like, guys, stop freaking out. The whole copyright thing, like I said, if you're not like trying to upload a movie and get away with it, then you're not going to have issues with copyright. I mean, you might accidentally do something and you'll get like a warning and you mute it and you won't have any issues. You'll just get like, maybe you'll be demonetized for a while or whatever. It's not a big issue. It's one thing. You're not going to get sued. You're not going to get your channel taken down. But, and so that's kind of what they're making it sound like, is if you're not intentionally, like, if you're not doing like, hey kids, let's learn our ABCs and say,
Right.
actually, no, this is for adults so I can get better ads,
No.
then you're not going to have an issue. But
Yeah.
here is the issue. They're using machine learning. If they weren't doing that, honestly, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be as concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But they've
they
said
did
themselves-
say- the people
they've,
behind
like, bragged
COPPA
about
did
it.
say that it's going to have a weird machine learning thing where it's like YouTube's going to automatically themselves, if they think your video's meant for kids, they're going to mark it as for kids themselves, and I don't like that part.
That's
It should be-
actually
No.
the part that I'm very concerned about.
Why don't they just give you a warning and tell you, please mark it as kids within this period of time, or else we'll take down the video or something like that?
Because here's the thing. If you're marked as a kids-friendly channel, you're pretty much not going to get paid for it. That's
you lose
pretty
like
much the
90%
truth.
of your monetization, right? That's what they said, I think.
That's what I've heard. I've also heard that there's going to be some people from the FTC themselves, that's the Federal Trade Commission, some governmental body that governs trade and commerce and things like that.
I thought they were the ones behind COPPA to begin with.
They are the ones
Yeah.
that were behind COPPA, and they're the
Okay,
ones
yeah.
that sued YouTube for the violation
Like, majority of the
rules.
issue with YouTube having to do COPPA was YouTube's fault, because according to what I heard, and you sent a video about this, Hunter, that, like, some of those, like, remember back during the Elsa Spider-Man period?
I hate that period.
Like, when those
My
videos
face.
started trending? Oh, I know, right?
It was so disgusting.
Apparently, the reason it also started trending was because YouTube started recommending it to kids. And the thing was that YouTube didn't have a system in place. Well, they shouldn't have done that to begin with. They shouldn't be like that was technically targeting towards kids, and they're not supposed to do that to begin with.
That's when COPPA should have come in.
That's when they should have come in, actually, when they're a little
I'm
late.
pretty sure, from
Pretty sure
what
they
I've
did.
heard, COPPA has been upset with YouTube for a while, and that was probably one of the things that probably started it. But I feel like it is the whole thing with COPPA and YouTube is YouTube has been like, but you can't be 13 or younger to get on our website. That's how it works.
Right.
But then COPPA is like, well, then how come on your website you have videos that are making tons of money that are targeted towards like 5-year-olds, literally 5 years old. It's not enjoyable for anything older than 5 years old, right?
Like all the
Right.
baby
And so
sharks and little
they're
Johnny
like-
videos that make
if
3 billion views per day.
I mean, technically, I was being targeted with Johnny, yes, Papa videos just because I was watching them for the memes. Like, back when that
Yeah.
was memeing around, I was just watching him just like, what is this garbage? I need to see this. I tend to do that.
And so I see what Kappa's saying with that part. At first, when I first heard about this, I'm like, this actually might be something where it's not YouTube's fault. Kappa's forcing them. But then I realized, actually, Kappa needs to force them. It's just YouTube's doing it the wrong way. And Kappa isn't going to be specific on how to do it. Like, hey, you need to do it in a way that your viewers or your what do you call it, customers or whatever would enjoy. Just do it. We don't care how you do it. You just need to do it. That's their main goal.
Yeah,
And
and
it's YouTube how they're doing it is the issue.
during this, yeah, that's what I was about to say. During this COPPA situation, I'm not actually mad at the FTC for putting this rule on YouTube. I'm perfectly fine with that. It's the way YouTube's enforcing the rule on the creators. That's what I don't like. Like
That's
that
lead
you're-
into actually something I wanted to talk about. Because I saw a video about that had one of the FTC spokesmen, and he mentioned something about the creators being liable for their own videos, and if the FTC finds them to be child friendly but they're not marked as so, creators could be fined a lot of money. Like
Yes.
a lot.
Which I think is
But-
stupid. Because
okay.
if somebody says, hey, this video is not for kids, that should be like an overwrite for the system to even run it. Because if the person's admitting this is not for kids, then that should manually be a trigger that should prevent
Well, hold on.
kids from saying it.
Logically,
On-
you'd think that would be the sense, but this is the government we're talking about.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, I
on-
forgot. Never mind.
On paper, I don't know if that saying works here, but on paper, it kind of makes sense where, like I said, if you're not trying to pass off kids content like ABCs or even maybe stuff for slightly older but still below 13, if it's not like obviously kid stuff, if it's just things that could be for kids, but you're not, targeting for kids and then telling YouTube you're not, then you shouldn't have an issue. And I feel like for people who are targeting towards kids and telling YouTube they're not, then they will get fined. And it could be up to $10,000, but I think they are just setting that for like a very extreme case. Like, and Matt, that's like thinking, I can't believe that like if you break the law, you could be, you could go to jail for life. That's stupid. But then someone would argue, but like you have to murder someone to go to jail for life.
Yeah,
That's just the most
all
extreme
crimes
case.
are treated equally, technically, and I'm
Yes.
gonna say not all videos that break this rule are gonna be treated
So I'm
as well.
I'm less concerned about getting sued and getting fined. What I'm more concerned about is YouTube's system
That's automatically
going on
labeling videos.
automatically labeling not just videos, but like I think
Channels?
like it
Yeah.
could be like entire channels. You literally can't upload a video that's for not for kids unless you make a whole new channel.
Well, I'm
just
not
because of YouTube's system.
entirely sure about that because there was an issue a while back when YouTube was actually putting this into like a beta form because they were doing it to channels in a way like way
I heard
before
about
this all
that.
happened. Like Chad Tronic,
actually
for
didn't
example,
hear about
who was
that.
the one that mostly spread awareness about this rumor, by the way. Not rumor, but this information, by the way. A while back, he made a video saying that like my videos being labeled only for kids, even though I'm a family channel, and that was way before the FTC thing. And apparently, like, he was saying his comments were getting disabled without his permission, and he couldn't change it back. It was all out of his power and reach. But here recently, ever since the FTC thing started, I've been looking at his videos, and he's got his comment sections back. So I'm guessing maybe he's not labeled as a kids channel anymore.
Well, this is basically just, it's like copyright has been a huge issue with YouTube and kind of the internet for a while, and now this is going to be the next issue, just as equal as copyright. It's almost the same. It's just in a different form. And so it's gonna act about the same way where, like, you have to get in contact with YouTube to dispute this, child-friendly, kid-friendly only channel issue that you might have on your channel. And luckily, unlike copyright, your channel can't get deleted for it. It will just get basically demonetized. You will make almost no money. Your videos will not get recommended. I heard that subscribers won't get notifications even if they hit the bell.
I heard that
And
too.
No,
Comments,
that is
comments
one of them. I've
are
seen that.
yeah, comments are automatically turned off, and you don't have end cards. You don't have just iCards. You don't have any of that stuff. You have no control over it.
And
if
I'd
that
say
happens.
you wouldn't be
And it's a
allowed
channel
to-
killer.
I wouldn't
It
say you'd
is.
also be allowed to advertise your own like merchandise within those kinds of videos as well. I'd say.
How would they
probably-
register for that?
I mean, probably when the FTC reviews videos manually, because they have said they're going to do that. They're not going to do any automated system, but YouTube's still doing the automated system where it's like, oh, we're going to make your videos for kids. Which here's the other thing. I saw another thing here recently. I don't remember where I saw it, but I saw another thing that if your video is labeled for kids and the FTC sees that there's inappropriate things in your video, you can also get in trouble for that. So, which case, if YouTube's automatically labeling your videos and you're doing some bad stuff in those videos, you can get in trouble with the FTC for something YouTube did.
Okay,
if
I'm
I'm
going to
right.
assume that if YouTube automatically does something, then the FTC is going to be, oh, YouTube, this is YouTube's side, they need to change it, and it'll be
Maybe.
changed. They're not going to blame the creator.
I
That
hope
makes
so,
no
but
sense.
seeing what YouTube's done in the past, I wouldn't put it past them to do something stupid like that.
That's like blaming. It's like blaming a creator for having racist subtitles if it misunderstood what they said.
Well,
right?
Yeah, and YouTube's done that
Because it's not their
before,
fault. They don't control that.
But YouTube's
And
okay.
well, yeah, it's subtitles. What do you expect? So they're not going to do that. It's only going to be for manually. Like, if you is it going to be? I've heard. I think both ways. I don't know which is true. Like, if you put it as for kids, but it's not for kids, then you could have trouble. Or if you put it for not for kids and it is for kids, you could have trouble. Or both.
I think
don't
it is
know.
both. I think I've heard.
I
stuff
think
about
I've
that.
heard it's both, but in some places I haven't heard them mention that.
Like,
it's both. I've only heard people.
I saw
talk
a
about
post
the
by
one.
Egoraptor on Twitter, the guy who owns Game Grumps, Aaron Hansen.
Mm-hmm.
He made a tweet saying, like, oh, if you make content that's inappropriate for kids, you're safe from the FTC. And he got, like, tweeted at by storms of people saying, no, it's literally the exact opposite. It's almost worse than the other issue with the FTC. You could get your videos taken down because of that.
It's
So I don't
like-
know the full information on that, but...
YouTube's technically not supposed to let anyone 13 or under use their site, but the thing that's in the back of my mind while all this is going on is, for years, videos have been demonetized for foul language,
Exactly.
war, historical
Yeah.
context. History
And I think that's
channels
one of the
have
examples
actually
the
made
FTC
their
used
own
against
network
YouTube.
now to escape YouTube.
Right.
Like Alternate History
That's-
Hub, I watch him. He's gone to this new thing he's helped create with a whole bunch of other historical YouTubers because the YouTube algorithm has been destroying them.
Which, one thing I've heard about is apparently there's some weird conspiracy going around that the reason YouTube gets rid of historical videos is actually some form of censorship, because lots of the times it's about very it is about, because I've heard about some schools actually stop teaching certain war history, or they're reteaching it, or some schools don't teach about the Holocaust,
How do you
This is getting a bit
reteach
political.
It is getting a
This
little
is getting a bit
political.
political. This is getting.
I would like to keep the podcast slightly less political. I will say that I have also heard, I'm not going to get into specifics, but I have heard that YouTube has like promoted certain political things, but not other political things. Right. Certain political channels or news channels over other ones based on what they believe. And I feel like that might actually, it could be YouTube trying to, censor things. It could also be the algorithm in a weird way. Like if you heard with the homophobic whatever censorship that's been going on YouTube recently, where basically the algorithm, it's like this weird robot, like baby robot that sees things and is told to get rid of things that are bad, and it sees videos that are homophobic or whatever, and it's like, that's bad based on these things that I'm told make it bad. And then they see someone else that's just, that's not homophobic but talks about some of the same things, and it's like, hey, they're talking about the same things, that must be bad too. And that could
doesn't
be
understand
part of
context, I think. That's one of the biggest issues.
Yes.
It's not
Can
very
we
context.
kill the algorithm? I hate that algorithm.
I would love
I
to kill
agree.
the algorithm.
Rewrite the algorithm, get rid of it. And so I feel like maybe for these political things, like the algorithm has seen things, and it could be bad luck where like there were more bad people talking badly about one side, and so they got rid of those videos or demonetized them based on that. But then that side that they were talking bad about ended up getting demonetized entirely, because it's like, hey, they're talking about the same stuff, and these guys were bad, so these guys must also be bad. And the other side was unaffected because the videos that were talking bad about them got demonetized first or afterward. I don't know. It's weird.
It's complicated.
Complicated. I understand it in my head, but I can't explain it, and I think you guys get it well enough.
Yeah.
Well, in the end, I think a world where YouTube's system works perfectly is nothing but just a distant dream. It's just a good dream that just never gonna happen.
It's a false fantasy.
Which, speaking of dreams,
Oh,
have any of
Wow.
you
That
guys?
didn't sound like a segue.
Have any of you guys had dreams of like you riding around this two-wheeled handlebar thing? Yeah, me too. It's called a Segway. What other dreams have you guys had?
Have you guys had any dreams lately? Like really weird dreams?
I think I had a dream recently that was a mixture of Overwatch, somehow, and also, but Overwatch and like I can't
Overwatch
remember
in real life.
Oh wait, it had to do with some like real life friends that I hadn't seen in a long time that I was dreaming about for some reason, and like me and one of my friends, or one of my friends in that friend family. We're friends with a whole family. One of the people in that family that I'm friends with, we were like moving out together on our own for some reason. And there was something going on, I think, related to Overwatch. I can't remember. There were Overwatch characters, and I think I was playing an Overwatch character at one point, or acting like one at one point. I think I was Reinhardt. Like I was charging
Winston
like Reinhardt.
comes
I
and
can't
knocks at
remember
your front
anymore.
door. Do any of you
And
have any
I
peanut butter?
remember, like, I'm pretty sure as we were driving, like, the entire world was falling apart. I feel like I remember a Ferris wheel rolling for no reason. I don't remember anything about it. I just remember these small, weird things. And I can picture it very, very realistically.
No, I just had
I have no idea what the dream was about, but I
had a
remember
weird
that.
vision in my head of, like, some... like those little YouTube animations where they use characters from video games or movies and they put them in a different context or something. I'm just imagining like Overwatch, but if it was a sitcom, and like your next door, and like the main house is like got the main like the more main characters like Tracer, Winston, they all live in the same house, and then your next door neighbor are like the Talon characters, and they're like the neighbors they don't like or something.
Wait, this was a
my
dream
lawn.
you had? Why did he mute himself?
Why did he mute himself?
BRB, are you kidding me? Okay, so he said this was a dream he was having, not an idea. This sounds like a bad idea for like a parody YouTube channel. This doesn't sound like a dream.
I don't know.
You can never
I don't
dictate
know
what
anymore.
Dreams will say.
Micah, what's one of your dreams, Micah?
Yeah, you haven't talked a whole lot, Micah.
I have
use
not, because
teledreaming.
I haven't had much opportunity because of Mr. Loudmouth.
And also because I'm guessing you don't have a whole lot of information on COPPA.
No, I didn't, which is why I was
I didn't think
trying to stay silent for the most part. I'm just
Well,
I
it's
don't
your
know
turn-
about this, so I'm just going to say my 2 cents.
There's no
And
need
not
to
It's
spread
your turn
rumors
to
anyway.
talk now. You can talk now. What's a dream that you had recently?
It's odd, because I have dreams most frequently, but whenever I wake
Alright,
up, the
I'm
instant that I do,
I'm
it's
back.
just,
Can you hear me?
it's gone.
No, we can't hear you. Micah's talking. Go ahead, Micah.
Okay, then.
Did you actually
Did you
reconnect?
actually just do that?
Hey, can you
Please
hear me?
tell me
No,
that was
we
a
can't.
parody.
Micah's talking, and you disconnect and reconnect.
Oh my! Why isn't he speaking now?
I have no idea anymore. Now we actually can't hear you.
You broke your own microphone. How do you feel?
The weird thing is that Audacity should probably still hear him.
You'd think.
That means
So
we
he's
can splice in what
He
he's
could be
saying.
talking on that side. So, like, for example, here, you have no idea what I'm saying until the episode comes out, and that's kind of funny.
Josh has muted himself.
Yep.
Don't you agree?
No, I don't agree to things that I don't hear.
You have to find out on the podcast.
Aw,
I mean-
dang it. Now I have to watch
When
the
it
podcast.
releases.
And I should probably
you-
subscribe while I'm at it.
And hit that bell.
Wink,
And the
wink.
like
Yeah.
button.
And watch some of our other videos, because we will only get like 4 views, and 1 or 2 of those are probably us.
Most likely us. Probably me.
Okay, Hunter, do you have a dream to talk about, since Micah doesn't remember anything?
Last night, I actually, and I don't know how
That
this
is a very
happened.
cool dream, Hunter. Let's move on to our next topic.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to
I'm
my
just
world.
kidding. I'm just kidding. You can go on. Go ahead. We're still waiting for
I
you.
actually started dreaming about this secret project I'm working on. Mike, actually, all of you know what the secret project is.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, wink.
Wink,
I have
wink,
to
secret
audibly
project.
wink because you can't see me.
And I actually,
Hello.
I
Hello?
heard,
I
was
don't
talking.
know.
Before
My
you begin,
internet
Hunter,
died.
I apologize. But Noah, did you
Yes.
seriously just mess up your mic to computer ratio just because we said that we could not hear you, even though we could very well hear you?
I couldn't hear you.
Really?
really?
Yeah. My Discord
Oh.
stopped, and I actually checked my internet stopped as well.
Okay, that's a lot
Okay.
better then.
That's
Yeah,
a
my
Well-
better excuse.
My
You
internet just-
unmuted yourself. You unmuted yourself. Said, "Hey, can you hear me?" I said, "No, Mike is talking. Be quiet." And you disconnected and
I'm so
reconnected
glad I
as
was
if you
still
believed
recording
me.
during that.
Yeah, I mean, you should have been. If you had stopped it, it would have messed
No,
up with the
I
sync.
mean, I did mute myself in voice mod for a bit because I had to do something real quick. But when I got back, I did unmute my voice mod and then said, "Hello, are you guys there?"
Okay, Hunter, you were talking about your secret project
Yeah,
dream.
I was dreaming about my secret project, and then I managed to come up with like half of an intro theme, and I can't remember
What?
it. And I'm actually upset about that now.
Oh, like a
'cause I wanted to
song or
compose it.
something, or like a music.
Yeah, like background music for
Oh,
the
dang.
introduction.
I've had that happen before too.
Oh.
Like I'll have an idea for a video or something, and then it's just gone the next day. And it was like a really good idea in my head, and I was
It's
like,
like-
"No,
I'm
You
upset
guys
because it
really
was
need to
a
take the
good
ancient
song.
art of writing things down.
no." My issue is I can't remember it the
In
moment I
your
wake
dream.
up. In your dreams.
Imagine it's like, oh, I had this great idea. I'm so glad I wrote it down. Oh wait, I dreamt me writing it down too.
No, you're just this sleep writing. You like wake up, you're like in the middle of your sleep, your eyes still shut, you're still dreaming, and you're just like controlling your body in your sleep, and you're aware of doing it, and so you just like sit up in your bed and you're just starting to write with your eyes shut. But since your eyes are shut, you're just writing down gibberish. It's
How
like chicken
legible
scratch.
would that be? I mean, really.
I like
It
Josh's
wouldn't be.
better.
It wouldn't be legible at all. It'd be chicken scratch, and you'd read it in the morning and be like, "What was this? Oh, ugh."
I happen
Alright,
to have
so-
amazing handwriting.
In my sleep.
Something related to writing and also dreams and sleep and writing in your sleep. I actually have a somewhat interesting story about this. So, for a lot of my life, I've had like weird issues with dreams. Like when I was younger, like 8 years ago, I think, estimating, I would like
2 days
apparently
ago?
like have No, no. I would have nightmares, and I would wake up screaming. My parents would be there, and I was screaming in my sleep. And I can remember one of the dreams. This is sort of so off topic from what I really want to talk about. But one of the dreams, it was really weird. We were all like, A Bug's Life?
Oh, you
Yes.
told me
How-
this dream. You've
and,
told me
like,
this dream.
Have I? In like a bar scene where they're throwing mosquitoes like darts?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dream where they put mosquito-shaped dart helmets on my entire family.
And they were throwing them
and
at the
people
dartboard. your
and
family.
like shooting them out of a cannon at a dartboard, and they were perfectly fine. And everyone was shot, and I was next, and I was fighting to not be shot out of this cannon. I was scared to death. And then I woke up, and my parents were there. I can picture the entire place perfectly still.
Oh. That
Josh,
reminds
you
me.
need mental help.
I think I got some.
Okay,
I don't know.
You reminded me of
I'm
two
fine
different
now.
Dream-based topics, like both you saying I was screaming in my sleep, and the fact you remembered the dream. So
The worst that's happened since then is I've stopped having nightmares where I wake up like that. The worst that's happened, this is what I wanted to talk about, is I haven't had dreams, but it's like I'm awake, but I feel like I don't feel like I'm dreaming. It's not like I'm like walking around imagining things. It's just, I have like unlogical thoughts. Like there was like something to do. I had one somewhat recently, I think, but there was one time where like I woke up and I felt for some reason I had to make my bed perfectly or else like someone would die. Literally.
Wait, really?
And so I was, yes, and I was freaking out about it. And I made my bed and I almost feel like I maybe could hear like someone screaming and I couldn't get it perfect. And I left my room and walked into like another room, sitting there trying to calm myself down. And then I walked back in and just, I'm like, I knew it wasn't real. And I couldn't get my bed perfect enough. And I felt like I was hurting someone because of it. Or something like that.
The
It
day
was
prior,
awful.
your mom's just like, clean this bed, clean up this bed or I'll kill you.
It was nothing like that. It just came out of nowhere.
I got
And
it. I got it.
I
I know what happened. Someone made a voodoo doll of one of your family members and turned it into a blanket. And if you creased it wrong, they would crease in real life, and you had to straighten it out
No.
perfectly. That's some logic there. I added some logic to your dream. You're welcome.
I didn't understand the logic at all. I've had other
Exactly.
dreams.
I think that's some broken logic.
It's some Noah logic.
It was weird.
It's some Noah
It was a really
logic.
weird dream type thing. I've had other similar type of things. Like there was one that had to do with like I still don't understand it. Even like I had one recently and I knew it was happening. I was trying to think about the logic of it. And it was another like death scenario. Like if I did something wrong, then someone would die. And it had something to do with like this object. I don't know what it was. I still don't understand it even at the time when I was
Dr.
having
Pepper
this
can.
happen. No.
For you, it's always
still.
Dr.
I
Pepper.
still couldn't even understand it as it was happening the last time that this happened. But it was basically something to do with like it multiplying every time something happened, and it would multiply somehow with something that I did, and it kept getting bigger and bigger until if it got too big, then it was impossible to deal with. I still don't even understand anything about it. I have no idea how it worked.
Did you happen to
I
watch
sat
the
there-
Gremlins movie before you had this dream?
I've never watched the Gremlins movie.
Apparently, I've heard a lot of people say that they have dreams about multiplying stuff, and apparently it is like a psychological, like, since it's such a common dream, it does mean something. I don't remember what it means, though.
I don't know what it was, and I had it happen recently. I could remember it happening another time before, and I didn't even care about whatever it was. Like there was some death scenario, like I was gonna die or something like that if something happened badly, and I still didn't care. I just sat and tried to figure it out. I woke up in the middle of the night, had this weird feeling of this stuff happening. I just sat and I just tried to figure it out because I wasn't worried about it anymore because I knew it was just some weird dream thing.
Leave it to Josh to find a logical conclusion to a dream.
The last thing that's ever happened is like I've like just sort of been awake or I woke up and like if I felt my fingers or whatever, like somehow like they felt like super skinny or like really fat, and it's just a weird feeling that I've been able to recreate just in the middle of the day, and I don't really understand how it works. It's just a weird feeling that happened.
Weirdest
But anyways,
superpower ever.
so when I had that dream that I was talking about, or not the dream, but the thing happened where I had to make my bed, I was trying to calm myself down, and I think I even went to my sister's room and tried to explain it, or tried to say that I was having a bad dream, and I don't think it helped at all. I can't remember if I did that or not. But I
Josh.
went back to my room and I tried to calm myself down, and I just was trying to do things just to pass time or to try to calm myself or get my head out of this weird area. And one of the things I did is I just wrote my name a bunch of times. I don't know why. I just did it. And I don't think anything really helped.
So,
and eventually I was able to go back to sleep.
I Googled online, and I was trying to find forever, and I found actually the meaning behind multiplication within a dream of like things multiplying. And apparently it's Yahoo Answers, so it has to be true. You're not handling your duties or responsibilities in a timely or effective way. By putting things off, you're letting matters get out of control. Something in your life needs to be dealt with at a basic level. Just as I don't know, it's some other thing. But yeah,
well, that sounds like Noah.
It means like your responsibilities are multiplying out of control.
I think now that you mention it, it was something like that. Like it kept multiplying and getting out of control. And I don't know if there's anything for me to stop it, but I feel like I accidentally did things that just kept it multiplying.
Right.
Like I feel like one of the things I vaguely remember like flipping a light switch, and every time I did, it started multiplying, and then it started getting too big and too out of control, and then I couldn't handle it anymore. And or maybe it was
be right back again.
I think I just figured it out. Maybe.
Okay.
I think it had to do with time. Like, every time it multiplied, it was going to take longer and longer. And I multiplied it so big that it would have taken forever for it to do whatever it was doing, whether it was like moving from one end of the room to the other. I can't remember. But every time it multiplied, it was just like getting more and more longer and longer. Maybe it was like until it would stop or until I could go back to sleep, or I don't even know. And so it just started getting impossibly long, and it freaked me out for some reason. I still don't even know. That may have been it.
Okay, well, I was wanting to say before.
It was such a weird thing.
I was wanting to talk about like another thing you reminded me when you were like, "Oh, I'm screaming in my sleep," like I screamed in my sleep and recurring dreams. I don't remember what the second thing I was going to talk about, but I remembered one. I used to sleepwalk a lot as a kid. Like as
I've slept walk a few times.
No, I mean a lot. It was like every night when I was around like 6, 7 years old, I think. But my parents have told me some really funny stories and almost creepy stories of what I did when I was like sleepwalking. By the sounds of these, it sounds like I was possessed. So there was one time I was it was about, I think I was having a nap in the middle of the day. It wasn't like it was early in the morning. I was having a nap in the middle of the day, and my mom was in the living room just sitting watching TV while I was in my bedroom. And I had walked all the way out of my bedroom. And you know how my living room's laid out now, but it was different back then. What it was is that we had a couch laying in front of the window. And what it was is I sat at the couch and looked out the window in my sleep. But I had my eyes shut still. And my mom just like sat there.
And did you whisper, "I smell like beef"?
I mean, it sounds like something I would have said. I've said some weird things in my sleep.
That would have been kind of creepy.
Sure.
Continue.
Okay. And so my mom walked over to me and was like, "Honey, are you okay?" And I said, in my sleep. I'm because I remember back when this happened, she told me about it when I woke up, and I was like, I don't remember doing that. She's like, well, you must have been in your sleep again, because this has happened multiple times. She asked me, "Are you okay, honey?" I said, And then she said, you want to go back to bed? And I said, yes. Real monotone. And she picked me up and carried me back to bed, and nothing ever happened. I woke up the next few hours later, and she was like, "Noah, did you know you sleptwalk again?" And I said, "No."
How old were you?
I was like 7 or 8, I think.
I mean, you could have just like been really tired and you just completely forgot.
That could be possible.
You could have,
but
been
I mean,
awake.
I remember that memory though. Like, this isn't like a story my mom has told me this day. This is a memory that I remember her telling me when I was a kid. Another story, a second sleepwalk story, is I was at my grandmother's house.
This will be your last one.
Aw. I mean,
we need to move on with
we
the
do need to move on to
I
a
had a
different
third
topic.
story, but
I have one more short thing.
I had a third shorter
we'll
story.
continue.
I had a third shorter story,
Okay.
but after this one. So I was at my grandmother's house, and I was spending the night up there. my aunt was still living with my grandmother at the time. And so I woke up from the guest room and walked into my aunt's bedroom. And I stood on one of her spinning chairs.
Oh.
She just
I'm
said
sure that was a good idea.
She told me this story. She said, I woke up in the middle of the night to see you standing in my chair in the dark, and it scared me to death. And you were like looking down at me, but with your eyes closed. And it was a spinning chair, so I could have easily fallen out of it. But I was just standing there, perfectly balanced. She told me that she picked me up like I was still in a pencil form because I was like standing like super straight, and she just picked me up, carried me back to bed, and laid me down. That's usually how these stories end. They just find me and lay me back down. And I wake up the next morning and don't remember it. And they're like, yeah, you sleptwalk again. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And last story, we were on a vacation, and I was in a bunk bed with my aunt above me and me below her. Or I think it was the other way around, actually. She was below me and I was above her. Doesn't matter the order at all. And both me and my aunt tended to sleep talk back then. I don't think I sleep talk anymore, but we tend to sleep talk back then. We both kind of had the same thing. And my family, it was like a cabin, so there was just a bunch of beds there. So everyone woke up in the middle of the night. Everyone, because they all told the same story the next day, of me and my aunt in our sleep talking to each other. But about a dream.
That was what I was gonna say.
And they only heard 2 audible sentences from both of us, but they were almost in response to one another. And then apparently the conversation we had was this, because it was just 2
You're
sentences.
not gonna say what the 2 sentences
Yes, it was.
were?
It was. I'm trying to remember it entirely, word for word. I don't remember it for word, but I think it was this.
Just
my
give
aunt,
it a paraphrase.
my aunt said, "Don't go in the cave. It's too deep." And I said, "Look out, it's a shark!"
Okay. Honestly, that just sounds like something you would say.
I think my aunt said something where like, "Don't go in there, the water's too deep." And I said, "Look out, it's a shark." But it had something to do with a cave. I can't remember what it was. But yeah. They said it was in response to one another. And I thought it was, to this day, I think it's still really funny that we talked in our sleep or had the same dream.
I feel like I've heard. I don't know of any specific examples, but I feel like I've heard of people doing that before.
Yeah.
I have one more very short, sort of not really story, but kind of a thing about sleep talking or dreams or whatever. There was one time, like people have dreams and they realize they're dreaming, they can do anything.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't. I've never been able to
I've
do
done that
I've really
before.
wanted to.
I've done it before.
I do that often.
I do it all the time.
The closest I've gotten is there was one time where I was having this really weird dream and stuff, and it was weird, and I'm not going to explain it. But I think I heard someone calling me and telling me to wake up, and so I woke up. And I started to get up and get ready, and I was thinking about my dream and stuff. And then I heard someone I started walking around, and then the world started to change, and I was back in the dream again.
Josh,
I never woke up.
Josh,
but
wake
I
up.
saw my room
podcast
and
is a
everything.
dream.
And
this podcast isn't real.
and
Wake
Okay,
up,
thanks.
Josh. You're not having a podcast.
I hate dreams like that, where you dream you do something in real life, and then you wake up to find that you didn't do those things in real life.
I've always had dreams about like having amazing success, and then I wake up and go, "Ah, dang it!"
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I've had a few. Of
I think
those,
I
but
remember-
I'm pretty sure I was like,
I had a
Thanks
dream.
for
I had a
interrupting.
dream.
Never
I think I
finished
had
what I
a
was
dream
saying.
once where I like met PewDiePie or something, and was like,
Wow.
"Oh yes, I can't believe it!" And then it was like, "Oh no, it didn't happen."
yeah, I'm pretty sure though that I was like when I heard someone calling me and telling me to get up, I was like trying to get up, but I tried really, really hard, and I thought I did, but I was dreaming that I woke up. And then I ended up waking up for real, and it felt the exact same, but this time it was real life. It was really weird. And it was so frustrating.
All right, who else?
But yeah, that's that. Let's segue into something else.
Do we want to climb on the Segway? Can we all fit on it?
I've heard this joke
think
before.
so.
Where did it come from?
I don't know.
Oh,
There are so many segue
I think there's a lot of podcasts that do the Segway joke. I just
I
remembered.
meant from earlier,
I
but
said
that's
that.
okay, too.
Yeah.
I unironically said that thinking it was an original joke, and then as soon as you said, Micah, that you've heard that before, I've actually heard a podcast use that joke before multiple times, and I forgot about it.
And you know, if
That's-
I've heard it before, and I say that, you know that this has happened before.
I mean, it's a joke everyone uses,
That's-
so why
yeah.
can't we use it too? I mean,
That's why I haven't tried to make the joke. Okay, I have some topics. I don't know what type of topics do you guys have?
I mean,
And we'll pick one.
I wrote in my my podcast notes. I literally wrote in my podcast notes, "Let's talk about how bad I am at writing notes."
Yeah, I have one of those. Noah can't write stuff down.
Why don't we talk about how slow Noah is to getting to arranged meetings?
Oh,
Nah,
yeah,
that's
why
boring.
are you so bad at this, Noah?
Because, well, for one thing, today specifically, I got off work and I was like, "All right, my
Are
ride
we
should be
actually
waiting
going to
outside."
talk about this?
This is just quick. It's
Are
just,
you serious?
I was waiting for my ride.
This is such a boring topic. We didn't even.
I thought my
Okay,
ride was outside,
Noah, is-
and they turned out to be like 30 minutes late. And I stood outside in the freezing cold, being like, "Where's my ride?"
Wimp. Okay, is that all the topics you had written down, Noah?
Now I do have one more, and that's
What is
specifically
it?
how my day at work was today, because I had some.
Okay, yeah, no one wants to hear that either. Micah, what do you have?
It was a new thing that we can do in Minecraft that I thought of.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I saw you mentioned about
Okay.
this.
Okay,
We could.
so my idea was that we each start on like a certain given segment of a map
Okay.
of just like random terrain, and our goal is to hide a bed. So we hide a bed somewhere, and then we make like a base around it, so that
Okay.
we want to protect that bed. So then the other three people get to try and come and conquer whatever challenge that we have laid out in order to defeat the bed.
I know just what to call it. We should
Bed
We should call
Wars.
it Bed Wars.
This sounds like Bed Wars, but it's in a normal survival world.
Right. And
Okay, so my question is, are we in creative or survival?
we're in survival mode. So everything must
And we're-
be able to be done in survival mode. So if you put a bed at like the sky limit and we have no blocks, we're not allowed to break anything. So we can't just break down to the bottom of the whatever platform.
So
it's
are we
supposed to
basically
be.
like making almost like a parkour obstacle course?
Either parkour or just some sneaky hide a button, make people find it sort of thing.
Indiana Jones
Scavenger
traps.
hunt. But you're not you're not allowed to place blocks or break blocks. You have to go through the system,
Right.
Unless you find glitches somehow, which will be unlikely.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. This sounds
Okay.
a little difficult for survival, though. This sounds like it will take a long time to get to the point where you can do all this.
Oh,
Find
we can
redstone.
start in creative mode, but when we run through the course, it's survival mode.
All right.
Okay,
then,
that's what
Bedrock,
that's what I was
Bedrock,
asking. Is if it was
Bedrock.
going to be
Would we be
My
allowed
question-
to search in creative mode, or do we have to search
No.
in survival mode as well?
we have to
say
search
so.
in survival mode.
Okay. Because I was thinking, if we
Okay,
could just
so-
fly around, that'd be a little overpowered for finding everyone's
Hold
spaces.
on. So you're saying like we can build everything in creative. It needs to be doable in survival, and we also have to find. We don't not only have to complete their challenge, but we have to find their challenge.
Right. That's why I
But
gave
what
the
if it's
segment of the
underground?
map. So we're gonna have to like outline it in like colors or
Okay.
something
I see
to
what you're saying.
designate.
So you have a limited area that you can work in,
Right.
and also a limited area that people have to look in.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or is it going to be like a turn based, like we take turns going to each thing and finding out who can do it, or is it just like, all right, start, go, whoever finishes the other three people's wins?
I was
I
thinking
think we
more
could take
of
turns.
we keep working on ours, and then once we're all done, we find some designated time to go around and take turns. But we
I
could
like
do
that.
it
Okay,
the
so
other
how do
way,
you-
but that would just be kind of rude.
So it's kind of like a build battle thing, but you're building like a fortress,
yeah.
and you take turns taking on each other's fortresses.
Now here's the question.
And the bed
Is
is
there
the goal.
okay? I have so many questions for this. So is there a point system? Is there a winner, or is it just for fun?
It's a point system of whoever can get there first to destroy the bed gets a point.
Because I think would it be a
Okay.
good idea that we all go at
If
the
you
same time to get
die,
it?
there can be
the
traps. So
creator.
if you die, you're out. So you lose all opportunity
out.
to get that point
Does that take you out of just that dungeon, or does that take you out of the entire game?
out of that dungeon.
Okay.
Well, here's the issue I have with that. If you make something that's possible, but it's extremely difficult, and it takes, like, the person who builds it, like, literally 100 tries to complete it, but it is completable, is that fair, though?
Yeah, I'd say, you know, make it reasonable. So don't just make,
I think...
several 4-block jumps, and then one of those weird corner jump parkour things, and then have lava at the bottom and say, "Ha, you can't do it." It's possible,
I have an
but you
idea.
can't.
I have an idea. How about this? Instead of the 3 other people trying to solve that one person's thing, everybody has to do it, and including the person who built it, and go the same way and stuff. And if they fall and die, anyone who has also fallen and died up to that point gets a respawn.
Okay.
So if the person who built it does it flawless in one run and everyone else dies and they're dead and they're out, but they get a respawn if they die and then the person who built it dies and then they all restart.
The creator could just make a bunch of like hidden traps that he knows about but they don't know about.
But that's the point. They'd still be
But
there in the map. So if somebody sees
if they're
him doing
hidden
that,
traps, you aren't allowed to place or break blocks, which means that the builder has to either have a hidden button, which then other people could find and use to get around traps. And
Yeah, if you do
bypass
secret
things,
passageways, it's possible that the other players will find them.
Yes,
especially if they
and
watch
so
you.
and so you probably won't be doing that, and if you do, other people can find them, especially if they really pay attention to the person who built the place and see how they do everything. Which is what you would do most likely.
I'm going to operate under the assumption that when one person goes, everyone else is in spectator and watches. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, we're not going to...
I'd say more of
we're
all
not
at
gonna,
the
like,
same time.
Oh, gosh.
That's why it's
everyone
on a point
goes
system
at the same
of whoever
time.
gets there first.
And that's how the builder dying gives a respawn works. It wouldn't work if it was one at a time.
True, yeah, okay.
We're not going to count like how many times the builder dies. It's like, all right, this is how many chances you get, because that would be boring and it would take way longer.
Yeah.
That makes no sense, Hunter.
Yeah.
You should feel bad about yourself.
All right, well, do we want to talk about today's sponsor?
No, we want to move on to the next topic.
Yes! Today's episode is sponsored by...
It's really weird how Noah's joke cut out of his audio in the podcast that I edited. Let's move on to the next topic. I had something that I've wanted to talk about for a long time. Hunter's the only one who laughed at that.
I just find it ironic, because at the beginning you said you weren't going to edit it.
I'm not going to edit in that way. I'm not going to edit in sound effects. The most editing I'll do is, like, you know, like when I'm coughing throughout this or anything like that, I might cut out audio in certain areas. At best, we'll see how long it'll take. Like that, I might cut out that, but that's gotta stay now that I've acknowledged its existence. I cannot cut it out. Anyways, something I've been wanting to talk about for a long time. I want to make a video on my own channel, and maybe I will, but I doubt I'll ever get around to it because that's how I am. Mm-hmm. There is or not just a YouTube channel. I found a YouTube channel, but specifically I found a genre of YouTube content that it's basic. You may have heard of it. Let me find the video that I saved in my watch later for whenever I get around to this. It's somewhere. So basically what it is it's like it's I think I don't know what you would call it. It's like primitive outdoor building things. You may have seen like some videos like a guy building an underground pool with like his bare hands.
Yeah,
that sounds ridiculous and tiresome and difficult.
It is, but here's the thing. In certain ways, it's not clickbait. They do it. They build it. And it's fairly well filmed. And that's where the interesting side comes in. Like, is this just like an actor, just one guy that they have as the face of the channel, but then there's like a whole team to make it go faster. And then there's also like, you know, people to help set up cameras, and like this is expensive for one guy to do, and it's time consuming.
I would say there's a team. Like, to build an entire pool with your bare hands, that's going to take a long time. It's going to need a lot of resources, and if the camera footage is actually good, like you've implied, then it's hard to do all of that on your own. He would have to have a team.
That's what I'm thinking, and that's what I don't know, because it's not very clear, and there's no way to find out. You can only theorize. But, for the most part, it's not like, like they use natural materials. They go and get vines for rope. They cut down trees and sticks for all their building materials and dirt and stuff. And in some ways, it's kind of like a show. Like, some stuff isn't super realistic. Like going and finding like a giant anthill to use as like a waterproof thing for the pool, like they do.
Wait, you guys don't have anthills that are waterproof?
It might be true. I think it is true, but it's not likely that this person is going to go through all the trouble by himself to do this. And it's kind of like another channel, which I'll talk about another time, that I also really love, and I have mentioned before. But I'm going to send one of the videos for you to briefly look at and just like skip through. It's still, even if it's a crew, it's still impressive. It's well done.
Oh, wow.
But there's a whole genre of these YouTube channels. And this guy has over 1 million subscribers, 1.3 million subscribers. This video has 78 million views.
Really?
Wow.
Yes. And there are tons of them. And they're so interesting. They get boring after a little while, I will admit, but it's so interesting to think about, like, what is going on behind the scenes and everything like this. And you can read comments and they like this pool thing. He has this tiny jar that he goes to a waterfall. Like, it's definitely more than like 50 feet away, fills it up and dumps it in. And it'll take like thousands of trips to fill the pool, but he does it. And then it's like, someone commented, it's like, after like a week of swimming in that, you're going to have like, like pond stuff on it. It's going to be dirty. There's no real way to change the water because it's underground. He didn't build a drainage system. So it's going to take forever to change, because it probably took forever to fill on his own, unless he has a team, or they cheat a little bit behind the scenes. Like they just have like a hose, like, that's not shown in the video. Who knows? And so it's interesting to think about that, and just sort of to look and just watch this guy build. And it almost seems like a compilation of moments and like time lapses of him working on it. It never shows the full process. It cuts a lot, where it usually shows like he finishes one thing, and it's really weird. He just like, without looking or doing anything, it's like he's just a robot. He's like using a stick and chopping at like these stairs to shape them, and he somewhat finishes them, and he immediately, within 2 seconds, gets up and starts working on a wall. There's just no hesitation, and it's so interesting to watch. It's fairly fake seeming, but for the most part, it's technically real.
I mean, yeah, I see your point. I'm skipping through like the first few minutes of this video right now, and there are a lot of jump cuts, and he was working on the stairs, and he did indeed jump to the wall. Oh, stupid Norton, go away. Right now I see him taking a string to cut a circle into the wall, and he's digging at that right now. So this is fairly interesting. Like, it looks like he's on his own right now, but with all of these different camera angle changes, he has to have people there with him. And considering he's out in the woods, with animals and all that other stuff, there's gotta be other people there. He can't do all of this on his own.
It's likely, but it's not impossible. If you look in the description, I feel like some videos have mentioned... here we go. They had been working on this video that I sent for 28 days.
28 days.
Which is, I think that's reasonable. That's a month.
That's still impressive for something like this.
Yeah.
Even if it is just
it is.
Person or
I mean, it's not only impressive with what he can do and stuff like that, but like if he really did build this on his own, which it's possible. Because he just gets a tripod, hits record for whenever he's like finishing up a project or he's starting a project, and he just hits record, and then he does some stuff or whatever and shows some of the progress that he's done, and then hits the pause button and then works on it for like the whole day. And he because he only records during the day. You never see any night scenes unless they're like showing off like the little candlesticks that he makes or whatever. For the most part, it's possible. This is possible to do, but it's still. I mean, if it is just him, it takes so much patience and so much effort, and it's amazing. And it's just so much fun to watch. And there is one reason why I think this actually could be a chance that it's real, is there's another YouTube channel that I'm subscribed to where they do these tedious, insane, weird things. But, I mean, it's not... I don't think it's fake. It seems completely plausible. I don't really know because it requires sciencey stuff. Let me see if I can find
So,
the
Josh,
channel.
are you suggesting that we go to South Africa and do these videos ourselves?
See ya, suckers. I'm not a part of this anymore.
I
That's how you get
prefer
some stuff on
machines.
YouTube. You just do
All right,
what
it's
other
another
people doing
channel.
but popular.
This... no, I'm not suggesting we do any of this. Okay, so...
Did you think
There's
I
another-
was?
No,
I'm
I
a
would not wanna do any of
gamer.
this. I'm slightly distracted trying to find this other channel. This channel is... I'm guessing this is the English translation of his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Kiwami Japan. PewDiePie has literally mentioned their existence, which is pretty cool.
He said
And I
that
knew
about
about
a lot
them-
of people. That's not that cool.
I've shown you, I've sent these videos to you before and just like spammed them in chat or something. But this is another case of like weird just genre of videos that this guy has like to himself for the most part. And they are fairly well, recorded and sort of just relaxing and interesting and weird and funny and so many things mixed into one video without any talking. And these channels, this knife one seems more realistic than less faked than the other one. Because according to how they do their process for making knives, it does seem like they're actually doing it. It's actually real science. I have no way to prove it because I'm not going to replicate it and try to do what he does. But he does something. And even with the team, it still takes a while. But, this video that I sent has 20 million views, and they have 2.7 million subscribers.
Right. Yeah,
Well, the thing with this video,
And I
versus
love their videos.
The thing with this video versus the dirt pool video is you can actually see him doing this.
Instead of cutting back
Yeah.
to the other guy, just, hey, I have a pool now.
It's like in this scene I'm
The
watching now,
thing-
he's lighting candles and he's burning the inside of a frying pan, probably
Yeah.
to get some kind of
And he's,
material off
and
of
he's,
it.
scraping the ash into like a or the smoke in whatever it is into like
The material. He's putting the
a
material in a
pan.
tray.
Here's the thing with these videos that I find so strange with these knife videos is at some point he gets to where he gets like to the end product where he's made the final material which the knife will be made out of, which is a hard usable material. But throughout the whole process, he has made the tiniest amount because it condenses and condenses, and he like separates some things out of it to leave behind the harder stuff, or he modifies it, and he has this tiny amount, so he has to repeat the process over and over and over again to make this knife. And I mean, I'm gonna guess in the videos he uses like the most basic tools, partially just for comedic effect, because they're so basic, like almost zero power tools. It's weird. But I feel like behind the scenes to make enough of this stuff, he has, larger tools. He just doesn't show it in the videos.
You've shown me this channel before, and he always didn't you say
Yeah, I
he
have.
always has this running thing where like he has these like what are they like water things that
He's
are
got
cows, and he pours
these cow pitchers.
yeah
Yes.
cow pitchers.
And he like pets them and cares about them and stuff. Okay, this is how I describe
it's
this
like
guy. This guy
basic, but
is
insane.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like how to basic. He only shows his hands, and he has like some weird things with his hands where like he shakes his hands at like these inanimate objects that he's given personalities to through his videos somehow, even though he says nothing. And he like has these things, and he has these themes like how to basic with his eggs. It's so much like how to basic, but it's also got science in there somehow, as far as I can tell. I'm not a scientist. I don't even know if making a knife out of smoke is actually possible, or if this is somehow faked. Either way, it's still amazing and impressive what this guy does, and I love it.
Someone says in the comments of this video that you sent me, he says, "Can you imagine the police searching his house and finding these weird knives?"
Another thing with this knife
And
guy
again,
that I
could
just
you
remembered is he
imagine-
always has a cucumber.
Could you imagine taking this man off in prison only to have him pull out a broadsword made of hair the next day in the lunch hall?
Yeah. I think he's made some weird stuff. He made like a ring, like an engagement type ring out of fingernails, I think.
Oh.
Jeez.
Yeah, he made a dog, like a pet dog head, fake dog head, obviously. You know, he's not that crazy of a scientist. But he made that out of hair. And it looks pretty good. You can go to his channel. I'd suggest it and look at some of at least the thumbnails, and it's impressive. It's pretty cool. I love the videos.
Airport security. Why do you carry that many candles, Kiwami? Reasons.
I love, if you go to his main channel, one of the playlists he has is kitchen knife, non-metallic, in parentheses.
I like
Or-
this one. This
yeah,
channel went
parentheses.
from how to make ice cream into how to make a murder weapon at airport security cannot detect.
Yeah, it started off fairly basic with just like sharpening knives. Like, how sharp can we get this dollar store knife to be? Can we get it as sharp as like an expensive set of knives, right? And then like he made the first like making a knife out of a weird substance video, and it blew up. And he kept doing it and got crazier and crazier. And I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but it's still impressive no matter what it is.
Step 1, collect smoke. Okay, seems legit. Step 2, cook dog treats. Wait.
Here's one. You're the most
This guy-
interesting
this
weirdo
guy's
in the
like
world.
the,
Do a knife made out of a Nokia phone.
That would
That
be
would
great.
be indestructible. Hunter, don't give people ideas. That would be a weapon to cause mass destruction.
I mean, if you've seen the meme of like Thor's hammer made out of Nokia phones,
Yes.
Oh, yes, I have. Yeah.
I love that meme. That's great. I mean, it's just a picture.
Yeah,
but
here's
it's fun.
him making, like, knives out of an egg.
Yes,
What is
it's fake egg, and he like does something with the substance, adds things, subtract things, and it does end up really small, probably because it takes a long time to make, however much he needs, or he doesn't have very much to work
Here's a
with.
knife made out
But
of
it's
paper.
still impressive.
A
Yep.
knife
And it's
made from
hard
an
paper.
old wrench? What?
Where's that?
Oh, it's from a
The
different
old
channel,
wrench one?
actually, but still.
Oh, that's not as impressive.
That
That's
isn't,
easy.
actually. That's just weird. Yeah, here's his one. I've seen this one in my recommended before. A sharpest pasta kitchen knife.
He has a food wrap, like plastic wrap. Yeah, I see the pasta one. He's got a wooden one, which is
He
kind
has
of
one here where he repairs, like, a very rusty knife and, like, just turns it back to normal. And, like, grinds
I'm
the
pretty
rust
sure
off
the
hand.
first like weird knife video was the pasta one, which isn't the most impressive. But then he kept going with like some very basic things, like he made one out of plate, either a plate or like a stone called plate.
Oh, I've seen...
Maybe like the sharpening material. Then like aluminum foil, then plastic wrap. That's a little strange. And then like adhesive, whatever that means. Carbon fiber.
Go ahead.
Ice, Jello, rice, cardboard.
Josh.
What?
He did a KFC...
Underwear.
He did KFC chicken bones.
What?
Yeah, he did KFC
Where?
chicken bones. KFC chicken / sharpest bone clay kitchen knife.
Oh, I see that. I don't think I've watched that.
What?
Probably ground it up to tiny
Probably
little...
debone the
du-
chicken and ground
bits of
up the
dust.
bones. What?
Yeah.
That would be pretty easy.
I mean, I'm-
What's this beginning part here where he's cutting something with a thread? What is happening?
He always has like a story to him too.
Yeah.
Which is the funny thing. That's like the how-to basic side of him. It's the story and the themes. Like I mentioned it briefly, but you guys
Yeah, the fact
interrupted me
there's
when I was stuff.
lore.
The cucumber. He always has a cucumber. And normally it probably just started off with him just cutting a cucumber to show it off. And he did it like 2 times in a row, whatever. Then he started making it a theme where like he'll like be out in the wild and all of a sudden a cucumber will show up on a tree or something. He'll grab it and test it on his knife.
Josh, I like you're talking about that there's a story in these, and this one literally has a story where he's messing with some weird clay stuff, and then all of a sudden a cuckoo clock goes off, and then it shows him running down the street, and then it comes back to him, and it comes back to him holding, it comes back to him with a box of KFC chicken. You have to watch it. This is
My-
really funny.
This is funny.
I'll have to watch it later. My favorite though has to be his styrofoam, because when I this is the first one I watched as far as I remember, and I was sort of just thinking, okay, that's sort of interesting. It's not going to cut anything. It's styrofoam. How does he do this? And I watched, and the amazing thing with this channel is you start watching a video and you literally have no idea what's going on. He's like making like almost like he's making a dish. Like I think in this video he starts like what's the word for like the orange like shreds that you get off of it? It's got a name,
Orange
but
shreds.
he starts doing that. I can't remember the name for it. It's got a name. It's in recipes, and it started to look like he was like making like tea or like a soup or doing something, and he was using these oranges. And then it went back to that's what he was using for the knife. You have no idea what's happening or where it's going or his process. It just happens, and it's hilarious.
Somehow, there's a knife.
This video
Yep.
has a part in it where he gets the bones and he puts it in a bowl and he's about to put it in like, what is this, a grinder? But before he does, it zooms in on one of the chicken bones and it has googly eyes. No, he's about to throw it away. And he looks at it and it just has googly eyes on the chicken bones. And then he's like, oh, I don't want to throw you away. And it comes back to him caressing the chicken bones.
Yeah,
What is
that's his
this?
channel.
Oh, this is so weird.
That's his channel, and it's amazing. I love it.
Well, now he's blowtorching the chicken bones.
Here,
What is
what timestamp are you
I'm
at?
at
136.
I'm at 2:34.
How is Noah behind?
I don't
Because
know.
I've been
stopping
pausing
to talk.
I've been pausing it and looking back at stuff. Oh,
I've just been
Okay.
letting it
weird.
play and watching it and listening to you all in the background.
No, you should take notes.
I have muted it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I muted it too. I'm just watching it in
Take
its
notes
silence.
about the chicken bone video.
No, on how to stopping a video. Because every time that you show us a video, you stop every 5 seconds and
Because I like
explain
to
what you were
analyze a
explaining.
video. I like to pause it and look at stuff sometimes.
Yeah, but not
That's
everyone has
fine.
all the time in the world.
Or
We
I'll
want to.
miss something and I want to rewind it back a bit. Like, what just happened?
And I can understand that. But when you want someone else to watch the video, you stop it anyway.
Hmm
I guess I just.
I'm remembering the
catch up.
Ring Fit trailer you showed us in that
Oh,
silly
yeah.
video sharing.
Well, that was different. We were using a video share and it just kept glitching out.
It's like it took us like what,
Okay. I'm at
an
the part
hour
where he's
to
blowtorching
watch
the
that
chicken bones.
couple-minute long trailer.
Yes.
Yeah. Just because my thing kept lagging and you guys were watching it normally, I'm like, I want to see what you're watching. Yeah.
Oh, now the bones are going in a blender.
Yep.
You know, I think those bones would have wanted to go in the trash can after all
I'm
of
starting to
this.
see a pattern with his knife videos. He always turns whatever the material is into like a powder, and then he turns it into a knife.
Yeah, it's never what you expect. It's not like, oh, he takes like a bone and he sharpens it so it cuts things.
Right,
It's
I never
always
expected that.
very extreme, very over-engineered.
It's not like
and
metal
in some
forging.
way, in some ways, it's kind of feels like clickbait. It's like this wasn't what I clicked on.
But
I
at
was
the same
clicking
time,
on
I
something
enjoyed
where,
it, so-
but at the same time, it's like better than that. And I mean, there's no way to not clickbait it. Like it's not going to be like turning something into powder and then making it into a knife. That's too long of a title, so it makes sense. But it's amazing. I love it.
It's
What is going on with this video? Oh
how
my
do you
God.
find these things, Josh?
It's just I use YouTube's recommended thing a lot,
Compared to what you
and
find?
I just binge like different types of videos. Like I've binged like some political things where I just was enjoying them for a little while, and then I've binged like what's another thing like police. I think some police videos, and like they're like car, stupid car wrecks or like dash cam videos, which I found
The Russian
entertaining
dash
for a
cam
while.
videos.
Things like that. Yeah, I just went through all these genres, and this was just one of the things that was recommended to me, and I binged it a bunch and watched a bunch of stuff like it. Right now, I'm actually on more of a normal type of binging, where I'm watching more like superhero stuff, like Batman related, Superman related, more DC than Marvel, honestly. Most of the animated stuff, and there's some cool stuff out there. I like certain clips, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I've watched a couple movies. I do like Batman and Superman. That's just what I've been watching now, and some like Justice League things. So yeah.
I mean, DC has decent animated content. It's just
It's
That's
better
why
than
they
Marvel.
named it DC. Decent.
I searched Kiwami Japan theory online, and I still don't see like any kind of a thing about like people saying, "So you may have heard of this channel called Kiwami Japan, who makes these weird knives, and it has some sort of lore going on. So I have a theory." Yeah, but I don't see anything.
I don't think there's lore.
There's
I don't think there's lore for How to Basic. Is there?
hey, Micah, there's your
theories
there's
about
your
how
next
to-
stale.
There's my opening.
Yeah,
Better say
binge all the Kiwami Japan videos, Micah, and see if you can find any lore.
Make a stale on this. I dare
You need
you.
to make a video on Kiwami Japan. I'd watch that. I would share that all over the place.
If you
So
have a
then I
theory
can get
about it.
plus one more view.
Oh my
Lovely.
gosh.
No +3.
Yeah, well, I'm just compared
me
to the
see.
stuff that I like to watch, Josh. You find some weird stuff because I'm just too much of a gamer, and I just look up videos based on gamer things.
I have not been watching very many gaming videos recently. I don't watch much of that like at all anymore, honestly.
To be fair, you did make several of those videos. Like, maybe that has something to do with it.
Hey, what?
What are you talking about?
He made gaming videos.
Oh,
He's made game videos.
No, I
He's not
mean-
watching game videos.
Oh, Josh. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Josh, you have kind of. You're trying to find something else to make right now. You're not really up on the. I'm a gamer.
Well, it's mostly because I don't want to. I have an issue with perfectionism, and I want to make good videos,
Right.
but I can't do that very well with the computer I have, so it's on hold,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't found what else I would like to make at the moment. I'm trying to find the part where PewDiePie acknowledged. I found it. Acknowledged the existence of this guy. Hold on. Alright. This should copy at the point. It's at like 18 minutes in.
What? Why is this guy putting bricks on his stove? What's going on? Why is Kiwami Japan?
What is he
He's
doing?
putting bricks on his stove. And then putting stuff
I don't know.
inside the bricks to make an old-fashioned furnace on top of an already modern furnace.
Yeah, he doesn't use like power tools. He has like these little tiny hand drills instead of getting a power drill with a small bit. It's so strange. That's just the mystery of it.
It's so weird.
But if you go to the video I sent, you see where he talks about it.
Oh, with the cucumber and it's like wiggly. Because he cut it perfectly.
How do people even do that?
Practice. This guy makes knives for a living. What do you think he does most of the time?
I love
Probably
this.
making knives.
Now he's tracing a knife with a pen that looks like a fish.
Yeah? He never has normal things. He always has these, like, it's never just a pen. It's never just a pitcher of water. It's always shaped like something. It's always got, like, some sort of personality, somehow, without him even talking. Or he's got some connection to it at the very least.
Micah, this is prime real estate for you. Like, seriously.
You need to make a theory on this guy's channel.
Make a theory.
We'll see.
Now he's sanding the bone knife.
If you look at the, like, about 6 minutes into that bone video, you see where he's, like, made the shape or whatever, or he, like, pressed it down or something.
I already passed that
And
part.
he's, like, his hand's, like, shaking as he's, like,
Yeah.
sort of, like, going along the side. It's like he's frustrated or he's saddened and distraught. That's the word. He's distraught over it not working quite right, or I don't even know.
I love this.
All the emotion that you can see and just everything in a video where he doesn't talk
Well,
is great.
how long
the
has this podcast
sound
gone for, Josh?
Of silence.
About an hour and a half. This was going to be the last topic I was going to talk about. I wasn't even planning to talk about the knife videos. I was just going to talk about the guy building the primitive stuff. And there's lots and lots of YouTube channels of that guy, by the way, and you can look at them. They're interesting to watch for maybe an hour worth of entertainment at most, maybe a little more.
Guys, go look for him in the description.
Yeah, I'll try to remember
Josh,
to
I
link.
swear.
I'll link as many things as I can in the description of this, so you can check out what we're talking about. Maybe even as we're talking about them,
Including my channel?
And mine.
Yes, your channel.
And
Your
mine.
channel will be in the description.
Oh.
Yes!
Not Noah's. Not Noah's channel, and not mine either. Just Micah's and Hunter's.
Yay!
Yay!
Because I need it.
Yay.
I really need
Well,
it.
oh, I still have memes to send, but I'm gonna wait till after the podcast is done to send them. So, anyways, do we
But
want
the
to end it off?
podcast never ends.
Oh no! Oh no!
That's our catchphrase.
Wait, I just realized the doors are locked. Wait, guys, wait!
Step away from the door, Noah.
Got
Wait a
someone
minute.
help!
Help! When did I get handcuffs on? Why am I chained to my chair? I can never leave. You clearly are leaving. You sound quieter.
Oh, I'm at the door. Help! Help!
You're mine now.
No, I thought you had a hotkey. Don't you have a hotkey for this situation?
Yeah.
Use your hotkey.
Okay.
Or has your hotkey not warmed up to the right temperature yet? Is it still just a lukewarm key?
It's a temperate key. It's almost
Temperate
hot.
key.
It's
What
like,
if it's cold?
It's warm. It's almost hot. It just needs a few more minutes in the microwave. It's sat out here and cooled
On a
down.
scale of you to me, how hot is it?
Me.
It's me.
That's off the scale.
Then it's not very hot at all.
I should have just said in between, and we wouldn't have known anyway.
That's what Hunter said.
Is just glad that I wasn't mentioned in that.
Mike is in another realm.
You're on your complete other
He's on a different
scale,
scale.
Micah.
He's
I don't think there's
entirely
even a scale that could scale Micah.
Mike is neither negative
There's-
nor positive.
There's a quote
I'm
from
imagining.
Bo Burnham.
He's an
There's a quote from Bo. There's a quote from Bo Burnham.
Are you going to get to it today?
Okay, his quote is like, this applies to Micah very well. You are incomparable, like a. I thought it was hilarious.
Like a what? You cut out.
Like a what you cut out?
No, that's the joke. You're incomparable. You're incomparable, like
I
a.
get it.
And then he just says nothing. That's the joke.
Because there's nothing to
He
compare.
he has better execution because he's Bo Burnham, but that's the main joke.
Also, because
It
he
applies
wasn't
to
on
Micah.
Discord and his friends thought that he lagged out.
That's the other thing.
Gosh.
Imagine
A
in
better
real
thing
life.
if we were in real life.
In real life, someone just like stops talking, and then they like, they just continue on. It's like, wait, you cut out. It's like, we're in
What do
real
you mean?
life.
Micah literally cut out when he said that. What you mean? Josh!
Okay,
Josh!
I'd say that's.
I found the keys! I pulled them out of Micah's pocket. We can get out of here. Here, I'll put them on your handcuffs. Here we go.
Oh wow, they are really hot.
Makes a second pair of handcuffs.
Run, Josh!
What? I'm confused now.
Podcast is over.
That's how it ends. Just, podcast is over. Okay, thank you for listening to the podcast. Goodbye, catch you later. I don't know the outro. Who cares? Oh, Spanish chair.
Explosions.
Hello? Uh-oh. I think my Discord stopped, Josh. You can still hear me, Josh. I have to, in editing, my Discord is just kind of stopped. I need to reset it somehow. How doth thou reset Discord? I don't remember, so I'm just gonna task manager it. Oh gosh, I have a million other things popping up right now. I can't hear anything. I can't say anything. Help me. How do I task manager Discord? I don't see it. No! Discord! Discord's not even popping up in my task manager. This is weird. Hello? Here we go. I found it. In Discord. Kill it. There we go. Let's restart Discord. That was weird. I don't know why my Discord stopped. Also, yes, Josh, if you may have questioned it, my mic was off when in the recording itself because I have a mute button within my voice mod, so I can do that whenever. Oh joy, nothing's working. Is my internet just stopped? It did. Well, hello. Wait, I think my Discord stopped again. Can you guys hear me? Type in Discord text chat if you can hear me. Hello, Discord text chat. I don't see anything. Oh no, my internet died again. Josh, if you can hear me. In editing, please. Help me. I'm stuck in a void. Without internet, my life is nothing. Please. Help me escape from this eternal evil place. I can't rejoin the call. It's not letting me. Oh, this is fantastic. Yep, your connection is not private, it says Google Chrome. Pretty cool stuff. Discord's reloading. Discord's reloading. Discord's reloading. Discord's reloading. Why internet? Why? Why internet? Why? Okay, Discord's loading now, and my internet's working again.